Welcome to the Crypto Infinity channel where we try to help you find infinite ways to make money. My name is Hector and my goal is to help you reach financial freedom. Now before we get started, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Not a financial advisor, but now let's get started with your daily market update. So we see we have the market cap sitting at 1.82 trillion, about to hit that 1.83 trillion. So we're down almost 5% over the last 24 hours. We see we have Bitcoin sitting at 41,000, Ethereum sitting at 2,700, XRP sitting at 73 cents, Terra sitting at $91, Cardano 88 cents. We see Cardano overtook Solana for the number 8 spot, but again, we have Solana sitting at $92. We have Chronos, which is CRO, sitting at 41 cents. We have Hedera Hashgraph down here at 21 cents. Dropped down in the charts a little bit, but as you see, most of the things are in the green for the week, so that's still a good sign. Now for the day, it doesn't look too good, but for the week, we're still bullish. So it's looking pretty good for now. As long as we don't drop below that $40,000 mark on Bitcoin, we should be okay. So again, Bitcoin sitting at 41,000. Our technical is saying is a neutral time to not buy or buy. Again, it's not financial advice. It's just my opinion. But again, we did not hold that upwards trend. We did trade down, but I believe that it was due to the Taiwan and United States entering the Taiwan Strait. So could be another geopolitical thing going on. But again, that's out of my category, so I'm not really going to talk about it. But again, as long as we don't drop below that $40,000 mark, we should be okay. And should be headed for some more upsides pretty soon. So I believe we might dip down or trade sideways from now, but we'll pass that 45,000 mark and be on our way up. So let's get on to the news. It says Ukraine government cancels airdrop ahead of scheduled snapshot. The Minister of Digital Transformation announced the cancellation on his Twitter account. So it says the Ukrainian government has canceled a planned crypto airdrop as the Russian invasion continues. The announcement was made by the country's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Digital Transformation. After careful consideration, we decided to cancel the airdrop. Every day, there are more and more people willing to help Ukraine to fight back the aggression. Fedorov said the country will announce NFTs to support Ukrainian armed forces, but emphasized there are no plans to issue any fungible tokens. So that's pretty sketchy right there, I believe. So if a country promises airdrop and it encourages people to kind of donate some more, but then they come back and they rug pulled it. So this is the first government rug pull that I've seen. But again, like I said, this is pretty sketchy right here. But they say they're gonna offer NFTs to people that support the Ukrainian armed forces pretty soon. They're trying to get that ready, but again, I wouldn't trust it, but that's just my opinion. After they pull this stunt, like they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But again, that's just my opinion. So now, let's get to this article. It says, U.S. Treasury warns crypto firms on Russia cybersecurity threat from a source. So it says, March 3rd, the U.S. Treasury Department has reached out to crypto companies about their cybersecurity controls amid concerns that Russia could wage retaliatory cyber attacks in response to Western sanctions, according to a person familiar with the situation. The United States and its allies have unleashed a slew of sanctions targeting Russia's banks, state-owned entities, and elites, among others, following the country's invasion of Ukraine. So, if you remember, they put sanctions on them, on their people. Well, not the citizens, but the people that are connected with the government. So there's sanctions on them. But again, if you go back to a couple months ago, the IMF was planning to pretty much be in a cyber attack. So it says governments have warned for weeks that Russia or its allies could carry out cyber attacks in retribution for sanctions, leading banks to increase monitoring, scenario planning, and line up extra staff in case hostile activity surges. In a sign, U.S. regulators see the ballooning crypto industry as a growing source of systemic risk. U.S. Treasury officials have also been in discussions with crypto exchanges and trade groups to ensure U.S. digital assets are safe, said the person familiar with the matter. So again, this is crazy because I believe that either China or Russia could cause a cyber attack, but for now it could come from Russia. But again, it could come from anybody that it's allied with them. So again, it says here exclusive IMF 10 countries simulate cyber attack on the global financial system. This was back in, I want to say, yeah, December 9th, 2021. So about 3 months ago. It says Israel on Thursday led a 10 country simulation of a major cyber attack on the global financial system in an attempt to increase cooperation that could help to minimize any potential damage to financial markets and banks. The simulator war game, as Israel's finance ministry called it and planned over the past year, evolved over 10 days with sensitive data emerging on the dark web. The simulation also used fake news reports that in the scenario caused chaos in global markets and a run on banks. So it says the simulation, likely caused by what officials call sophisticated players, featured several types of attacks that impacted global foreign exchange and bond markets, liquidity, integrity of data, and transactions between importers and exporters. These events are creating havoc in the financial markets, said a narrator on a film shown to the participants. So again, Israeli government officials say that such threats are possible in the wake of so many high-profile cyber attacks on large companies, and that the only way to contain any damage is through global cooperation since current cybersecurity is not always strong enough. Attackers are 10 steps ahead of the defender, financial cyber manager at Israel's finance ministry told Reuters. So it says participants in the initiative called Collective Strength include Treasury officials from Israel, the United States, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, Austria, Switzerland, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, and Thailand, as well as representatives from the International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and Bank of International Settlements, which is BIS. So if you take a look at this list, you don't see China or Russia on there. So just connect the dots and to see what's going on today in the world. So again, that's not my topic, so I'm gonna stay out of it. But again, just take a look at who's in this list and who's not. Again, China and Russia not on this list, so that's pretty sketch right there. But now on to another chart that I want to show y'all. So it's XRP chart. Again, we did not trade upwards in the upward trend. We did trade sideways for a little bit, but we did bounce down to 72 cents. So I would say keep on buying. Not a financial advice. So right here it says on the technicals, it's a strong sell time. But again, that's just my opinion that I would keep on buying. So it says Ripple could expect settlement on XRP lawsuit in April. That's literally a month away. So potentially in favor of Ripple is the fact that Judge Sarah Netburn, who has seen all the documents in camera, will be hosting the mediation. The SEC versus Ripple lawsuit has been widely followed for its precedent-setting nature. The SEC wants to make an example out of Ripple, while Ripple says it wants to not only defend its interests, but also fight in the name of crypto ecosystems. Most XRP holders, however, just want the lawsuit to be over in order to see XRP relisted on the U.S. digital assets exchanges such as Coinbase. Settlement is the fastest way to see an end to the case that is dragging since the December 22nd, 2020, when the SEC filed the complaint against Ripple Labs and individual defendants Chris Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. Mistake right there. Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson for an unregistered securities offering. Constant delays in the lawsuit have frustrated XRP holders along the way, but chances that a deal is happening sooner rather than later are getting stronger by the day. So remember those words, sooner rather than later. So if you've been following the XRP trials, well, not trials, but the lawsuit, they've said that a settlement could come 14 days from the day of fact discovery, which was on Monday, I believe. It was Monday or Tuesday. So it could happen within the next couple days, literally. So we see here it says by Bank XRP, Ripple Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple versus SEC will have clarity sooner than later. So let's take a listen to this video. Take a look at it.
I don't think we should treat them differently. Ripple is like Swift, isn't it? Yes. I mean, Ripple's starting point, kind of our first use case for the technology, the blockchain technology, and the digital asset XRP was to solve that cross-border payments problem.
Right.
Swift is quite antiquated, kind of designed 50 years ago. It's slow, it's expensive, but it is a choke point that the governments use to enforce sanctions. My point is, nothing that Ripple is doing circumvents any of that.
So you're following the sanctions exactly? Like, for example, it's like, what, 8 banks, but a couple can still trade through it theoretically?
Correct. The sanctions are applied through what I'll call the choke points, the on-ramps and off-ramps. That's true for Swift, that's true for Ripple. Regardless of what I'll call just the plumbing of how things are moving, the choke points are the endpoints. So I think, when I step back and look at this, I think there is a lack of knowledge. I think people need to understand that crypto isn't this kind of black box. It's kind of back from when it was known as Silk Road. The industry has come a long way.
So an oligarch, or let's just say Vladimir Putin, couldn't finance tanks to Bitcoin.
Look, one of the things that people don't realize is there's just not enough liquidity.
Yeah.
Russia used to trade pre-sanctions $50 billion of cross-border kind of transactions per day. Crypto does not have anywhere near that. So,
right.
Look, in the same way that somebody could be taking wheelbarrows of rubles or the Ukrainian currency across to Poland and things, like, there are ways you could do that, but it's really not significantly dissimilar.
Why are they so obsessed with it then? It's like so weird.
I think it's kind of clickbait. It's a hot item. I think people... It adds a relevance and excitement around some of these things, but I think people don't understand.
Well, we had spoken to Gary Gensler of the Securities and Exchange Commission. I know you saw that interview because we were emailing afterward about it, but he specifically tried to say that he wants to very much focus on what's a security and what is an actual token, a cryptocurrency. I feel like if that's the case and he's holding you to that standard, at some point he's going to have to go after Ether as well, because Ether and Ethereum are those two very similar paths, just like XRP and Ripple, are they not?
Look, I think that's absolutely true. I don't want to comment on what they should or shouldn't do. I think as it relates to Ethereum, my view is it's very clear Ethereum's a currency. It's very clear XRP is a currency. And that the SEC, I mean, he was interviewed yesterday, Gary Gensler was, or maybe it was even this morning, and commented that, hey, we're going to lose some cases. This is the definition of regulation by enforcement.
He was going to lose. You think he was saying he was going to lose your case?
I don't know what he was saying. But he did say, hey, we're going to lose some, and we're okay with that. That's the definition.
Where are you on the case? Let's get an update.
The quick update, on Monday was the last day of expert testimony, expert depositions, etc. And so the case continues to move forward. We're expecting some decisions from the court, sooner rather than later as it relates to a couple decisions before the court.
So we see right here it says sooner rather than later. He just stated on Fox Business, Fox News. So again, a settlement could happen within any couple of days from now, pretty much. But we'll just see what has to happen. Again, he says that Gary Gensler just said they're going to lose a couple cases. He didn't say what cases, but I mean, they are in the case with Ripple. So we'll just have to see what happens within the next couple days, weeks, months. Who knows? But that is all that we have for the Daily Markets Update today. Thanks to each and every one of you. Remember, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe. Thanks, and until next time.